Hi, Glenn here from Digital Photography Courses. In this session we're going to look at another way to mount your Move Shoot Move rotator. Previously we've looked at using a three-way pan and tilt head, and we've looked at using a ball head. And so what I'm doing on this one is I've actually got a leveling platform. If you didn't have the leveling head, then obviously what you would need to do is level your tripod using the legs, which is absolutely fine. I just tend to find that a leveling head is quite good. Also, this does give me a little bit of rotation as well, which is quite useful. And then on top of this, I've actually got a monopod tilt head. If you haven't got a monopod and you want to turn your camera on its side, that can be a problem. So the reason I've got this is so that I can tilt my camera on its side, so that I can do upright pictures when using a monopod. I've had really good results with this, sort of to mount your Move Shoot Move. So what I would tend to do is, you've always got the option with the Move Shoot Move, which I've covered in previous videos. You can mount, obviously, using a tripod plate into here. In this case, this one hasn't got a quick release tripod plate, so what I would have to do is screw the MSN into here. So making sure that's good and tight. There we go, got the controls here at the top obviously, and now what I can do, I can get my bubble level, get it sort of looking towards the north or the pole. There we go, get it level, lock everything off. And then basically I'm using this to give me my altitude adjustment, so like so. And then of course I would mount my camera in the normal way, nice and tight, and then I can aim for my targets in this direction over here. And that is quite a nice sort of centre of balance. If you look at the sort of the centre of balance on that, that's really is quite nice, you know, sort of works quite well. Or of course, before we did that, we would pop the old laser on, or the polar scope, and you would fine tune this. But I actually find that this is really, you know, quite a good stable method of doing it. And what I have actually done in the past is, rather than necessarily rotate this, I'll be honest, I have kind of just nudged the legs over, maybe if it's just a fraction of an inch, or you can just loosen this off. Of course, the other thing if you can loosen your centre column off and this rotates, you could do that. On this particular tripod, my centre column doesn't rotate, so I don't have that as an option. But if yours rotated, you could do that, or you could have maybe a panorama base on there as well. So it's just a different options that you can do. But this is, you can see this is really quite short, so that really keeps everything nice and sort of compact and nicely tight together. So there you go. So make sure there's no straps in the way. I'd get my alignment, fine tune this up and down. It's a good idea to support the weight of the rig, just so there you go, and then you get it lined up and away we go. Make sure everything's good and tight, and there you are. So take the old pointer off for now. Okay, and the next thing you would do is we'll try it on the other configuration. So if I take that camera off, what I can also do, now this head actually has, this tilt head does actually have a 3/4 inch option as well, so I could actually just rotate this 3/8 adapter there, and we can pop that onto here. Make sure it's screwed on nicely, and then we can mount the Move Shoot Move in this configuration. There we are. And obviously again what you do is you'd move this around, get it pointed to where you need it to, lock everything off. There we are. And you could shoot in that configuration. Like so. So again, quite like this because it really is quite compact, quite a low centre of gravity, works quite well. This is obviously pointing towards the north or south celestial pole, and then this is my target acquisition over here. Great. And with this setup, I've said previously, I tend to work on the principle that you should be able to get in the region of 10 to 12 times the exposure time that you would have got using the 500 rule. So if we think of the 500 rule, this is a 20mm lens. Using the 500 rule, that should give me around about 25 seconds without any tracking. I tend to be conservative on that, so I tend to work in about 20 seconds with this lens. And so if with the MSM switched on and a good alignment, we can times that by around about 10. So that should give me sort of in the region of 200 seconds. 180 seconds is obviously 3 minutes. And I regularly would get 3 to 4 minute exposures with this setup. So if we're using a 100mm lens, so 100 into 500 is 5 seconds. If we times that by 10, that's 50 seconds. By 12 is 60 seconds. And that should be doable with 100. I know a few people like to use maybe the Rotator 135, that type of lens on here. So working on that principle, we should be able to get 50 to 60 seconds with a 100mm lens. And I have actually got good sharp stars at 90 seconds with a 105 lens. It's probably error on the side of caution. You better do that. You don't want to get back and lose a load of pictures because you've got movement in them. So around about 60 seconds, and then do obviously plenty of exposures on that. So I hope you found that useful. So that's another method of lining up, and I actually do quite like this method. I use this method initially quite a lot because I just found that with a ball head it was all getting a bit tall, and I find the more compact it is, then the better it tends to be. So I hope you found that useful, guys, and I'll see you again soon. All the best.